It's not often that I get requests or challenges, but then this happened.
So to me, I think MJ, it would be a great idea, suggestion I should say, if you reviewed what I consider the Doomsday Project saga.
Challenge accepted, good sir. Well then, with that said, let's grab another time stone and travel back to 1994 for Sonic the Hedgehog's Saturday AM, the Doomsday Saga. See, this is what I like to call really competent writing, in the sense of you had to watch every single episode to know where the story was leading. And I love the idea of Sonic and the Freedom Fighters attempting to reclaim Planet Mobius from Dr. Julian Robotnik, who is pretty much evil incarnate, especially with the way Jim Cummings plays it.
Cry of the Wolf I felt was an okay part of the story, as essentially it was just recruitment for the Freedom Fighter army that Sally was building based upon the list that she obtained from her father from the Void episode. I personally felt this was just code for filler, as it was just biding time before the big final act a few episodes down the line. Druid Henge was filler / character building, as it helped to really give Tails some necessary screen time and relevance that he had been sorely lacking in the series up until this point. This is one of the major criticisms I had with Saturday Morning, was Sonic's best friend and ally was just played down to almost a tertiary character, which to a lot of fans then and today is almost sacrilege. Granted, I will accept that Sally served as a better strategist and co-leader in the story, as she was much more experienced and not so naive as her adoptive nephew was. But at the same time, there was so much potential that could have been had with young Miles Prower, considering it was his plan that he devised to find one of the deep power stones that were key to Robotnik's plan of taking over the world.
Oh, you sly little fox.
Spyhog was a really well-written segment of how Charles's cover was blown and the team would risk their lives just to break him out from Robotnik's interrogation. For me, it just highlighted how important Charles was to the team with the intel that had assisted the team, and how he would continue to serve as the spy from behind enemy lines. Doomsday itself is just a high-octane experience where you don't get a chance to take a breath as Robotnik executes his plan to send the pod across the planet, and then seeing the Freedom Fighters begin to fight back against the metal monstrosity.
So, yeah, after a somewhat long-winded point of view, the writing is rock solid and leaves no stone unturned. This is another reason why this incarnation of Sonic the Hedgehog has not only stood the test of time, but is also so enjoyable for first-time viewers, as this show is littered with rich vocal talent that make the characters so likeable with their own personality traits. And due to the fact that there are so many characters in this, I'm only going to be focusing on 3. Apologies in full.
Jaleel White is Sonic the Hedgehog. He made this character his own with the sheer attitude that radiated from his delivery of overconfident, snarky, and arrogant wit. But this has always been Sonic's selling point in the 90s, the Hedgehog with attitude.
Check this. Are you kidding me? Hell, does this look like I'm kidding?
He's sassy and charming, and this is why he's numero uno to a lot of fans in the Sonic community. And I, for one, agree.
Ah, thanks.
Kathy Sose as Princess Sally Alicia Acorn would bring this sense of common sense and level-headed intelligence to the lead female of this series. And Kathy would have these moments of very strong deliveries conveying the importance of their mission.
Know what I think? How could anyone possibly know what you think?
to these softer and tender moments where there's only time for compassion.
Take care of him for me.
We will, Uncle Chuck. We will.
Jim Cummings as Dr. Robotnik is just a voice delivery you do not want to hear with the lights off, if you get my meaning.
The dream begins.
See what I mean? Jim just had this ability to shatter the very image of what we had known of Robotnik with Long John Baldry's portrayal in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog of this comical egomaniac scientist to this really dark and sinister delivery that would likely give you nightmares. But that's the point. For every hero who is a beacon of everything that's light, good, and positive, you need an antagonist that is just the absolute polar opposite. And Jim does this brilliantly as quite possibly the most chilling version of Robotnik to this day. And that's why he's the best. For the most part, this show uses a dark palette to convey the dark and polluted atmosphere that is Robotropolis, and does it so well, like it had been contaminated for years. It's more colourful in the knothole segments, which is a pleasant contrast to what was once Mobotropolis before the coup. This series is able to make good use of the light and dark theme and pollution versus anti-pollution. And I like that the animation was not done in such a cartoony style as opposed to Adventures All, which was done in a very slapstick Looney Tunes manner. That worked for that show, but for a show like Saturday Morning, which some think of as 2000 AD meets Sonic the Hedgehog, you needed that sense of a more, I don't want to say realistic theme, but certainly a tone that would appeal to older kids that could appreciate what the preteens were watching.
At times, this show borderlines on theatrical with the way some scenes will actually feel larger than they actually are. Also to note, whenever Sonic is in action, the comparison has been made to Back to the Future.
That's gotta be old Nimbus Island.
And now that I hear it, there is a strong resemblance. Also, the score can be really subtle and tender when there are these moments of celebration.
My father would be very proud to know we're together for our most important mission, to destroy the Doomsday Project and defeat Robotnik.
And where it can go to these really dark places.
And I'm not alone!
So the score? Yeah, easily epic. There aren't really too many negatives that I can find with this, as it's just enjoyable from start to finish with characters you love to root for and characters you love to hate. Like I said before, it's extremely well written, brilliant casting, and a great piece you can watch again, again, and again. So with that said, Sonic the Hedgehog, the Doomsday Saga, gets a dang that was good. Until next time, thank you for watching. And if you've got any more requests, comment section below, or send a suggestion to one of the social media outlinks in the outro, or send it to the forum. We'd be glad to have you there, folks. Thanks again.